Good day. Today we're going to look at journal entries and control accounts. We're going to start off by looking how to post the journals to the accounts that they request. So we will first do 1.4, which says prepare the following general ledger accounts, debtors control and trading stock accounts. Whenever we post to the general ledger, first thing is to put in the opening balances. Now normally in the beginning they will give us either a list of balances, or like in this case they tell me which was the balances for each of these accounts. So debtors was 43,270, trading stock 57,290. Now to put in the balance, I must first of all know the rules. In other words, I must know which side that specific type of account increases. So I must first of all classify the account. Is it an asset, a liability, income, or an expense? And then I must know the rules. What side would such a type of account increase? So to decide whether it's an asset or liability, etc., the easiest is an asset is something that's got value, that's going to give us an income in future. The keyword future. So I haven't received it yet, going to happen in future. A liability is money that I owe that I'm going to pay in future. Again, the keyword future. Income, I immediately receive the benefit. An expense, I immediately have to or suffer the expense of it. So immediate for those two. So if I look at a debtor, it's somebody that owes me money. He's going to pay me in future. So it is an asset. We're going to receive income in future. And according to the rules, an asset will increase on the debit side. So let's go to the answer book and put in the opening balance. So debtors control, the month is, let's just make sure, May. So May, normally I would also put the year in there. It starts on the 1st of the month, and it is a balance brought down from last month. So brought down, and the amount, go and look at what it is that they gave us, 43270. 43270. The next one is trading stock. The stock that I've got in the storeroom, it's got value. I'm going to sell it in future, so I'll get money in future. Again, an asset. So it's also on the debit side. So it's again May, the first day, balance brought down from last month, and the amount that they gave me, 57290. 57290. Make sure you always put in the opening balances. Sometimes they give them to you, or they already printed them, but we must just make sure that we know how to do it if they don't. Okay, the information, the first important thing which we may use later is the markup. So I'll highlight it so that I know what the markup is. 60%. I'm going to look at journal by journal and follow the steps. I'm going to do it complete because although we only posting to the two accounts, so that you can see how to decide. Step 1 for posting to the general ledger is to identify the accounts. It would normally be all the column headings. So if I look at the CRJ here, it's bank, discount, debtors control, sales, and cost of sales. Now on the CRJ, discount and cost of sales is not money that we actually receive, so them I will do separate. So the ones that I'm looking for firstly is bank, debtors control, and sales. Let's just make a list of them. So posting the CRJ, the accounts, bank, debtors control, and sales. Those are the three that they give me. We'll look at the other two just now, but it's bank, debtors control, and sales. Good. Step 2. I must decide what type of account is it. The money that I've got in the bank, I'm going to use it at a later stage. So it's going to happen later, which means it's an asset. I received some money. That is what I put on a CRJ. In other words, if I receive money, I'll have more money in the bank. And the asset increases on the debit side. So I know it's an asset, I know it increased, and I know that should then be a debit. It's a debtor. A debtor is somebody that owes me money. Is going to pay me in future. In other words, also an asset. In this case, the debtor paid some money. If he paid some money, he will owe me less. Asset gets less on the credit side. And the last one was sales. Sales, if I sell stuff, it happens immediately and it will bring me money in. So it's an income. I've got more income. Income increases. It will be an increase and it increases on the credit side. Okay, I'm not interested in any of the others because I only need to do the debtors control account. So for debtors control, it will be on the credit side. But let's just look at the rest of just journal before we post it. Let's go back to the information. The next one is discount allowed, which I haven't put in yet. So it's still on the CRJ, but it's a separate journal. So it's discount allowed. Who am I giving discount to? The guy that owes me money, which we call a debtor. So the opposite account will be debtors control. What is discount? It's costing me because he now has to pay less. So it is an expense. I've got more expenses. Expenses increase on the debit side. It's a debtor. We already said it's an asset. If I give him discount, it means he will now owe me less. And I make it less on the credit side. Okay. The last column or the last item on the CRJ was that cost of sales, which we also do separate. So it is cost of sales, and we've got to know by now that always goes with trading stock. So wherever I see cost of sales, the opposite account will be trading stock. It's costing me money for the goods that I'm selling. It's immediate, so it's an expense. I've got to pay more because I have to buy more. And expense increase on the debit side. Good trading stock. I said that's an asset because I'm going to sell it later. I sold some of my stock, so I'll have less stock, which means credit. Good, so in the second one, I'm also just looking at debtors, and with cost of sales, I'm just looking at trading stock. That's the only two accounts that I need to show. The others are there, I'm just not showing them. So debtors control, from the money I receive will be credited, and from the discount will be credited. So if I go back to the debtors control on the credit side, and it's still May. Just a second. Just want to quickly change this. So it's still May. Because it's a journal, it means it's all the transactions for May. So everything from the first to the last day. So we put the last day in, and that is the 31st. With money that we receive and discount, we're going to, let's just quickly see. If we receive money and there's discount, we're going to combine the two. So over here, now let's just go and look at, for this one, the credit, where is the opposite debit for this specific entry? It is in bank. That is the one where I wrote debit. So in the details column, I must write the opposite account, which is bank. But I'm going to combine these two. So I'm crediting bank with debiting bank with whatever money I received, but they're also going to give the guy discount. So in debtors, I'm going to credit the debtor with the discount, opposite account, discount allowed. So I'm going to write there bank and discount allowed. Good. And that comes from my CRJ. I can just look if they gave it a number. No. The CRJ or the journal number would more normally be on the right top hand corner of the journal. In this case, it's not there, so I can just put in any journal number. It's CRJ1 or just CRJ would be fine. Now I've got to add whatever I received, which is the 36,730 plus the discount of 850. So it's 36,730 plus 850. That gives me 37,850. So that I will put in under the amount column. So important to remember, I combine the two. Okay, next time, or in part 2, we'll continue with this journal.